Last time on Shadow Piece, the battle between Smoothie and San Juan Wolf became the focus and it turned into a high-technique wrestling showdown. With every touch, the Sweet Commander twisted more juice out of her opponent, but she didn't manage to land any decisive blows or throws. The Titanic Captain and her were equally matched, until the Giant found his chance to change the flow. Dipping low, he braced for Smoothie's next charge, and with one explosive motion, he grappled her thigh and twisted his entire body for a throw. Without a care in the world, he was standing there, holding the leg of the woman he just threw away. Smoothie crashed onto the earth with a thunderous impact and scream, the shockwave rippling through the ground. Dust and debris erupted into the sky, obscuring her for a second. Koribu yelled for her as he saw Wolf approach her again. Not hesitating, the Giant kicked the invader away, sending her straight on course to fall into the ocean. But not without the bloody ocean. The sweaty man chose to be hit by the next attack of Vasco's shots, just to be launched as well. The pain he felt because of that was only minuscule in comparison to what Smoothie must have been going through. He stood firm, even if he was much smaller than her. He swore to protect her with everything he had. Koribu covered his arms with haki, and his muscles bulged underneath his layer of fat, and he put his hands on the massive approaching body. She was kicked with so much force that the two of them got pushed back hundreds of meters, but in the end, the super rookie managed to stop the momentum from throwing them into the ocean. However, he couldn't spend more time to check up on his partner. He had to go back to fight Vasco's shots. All he could do was take a look at Smoothie's face for a short time. Huh? What he saw completely surprised him. The Sweet Commander's face was still strained from the pain, but she was also showing a smile. Was it because he performed an act of love for her to protect her? She certainly wasn't a battle freak, so she wasn't grinning because it was a good battle or anything like that. Only Smoothie knew what she was thinking in this very moment. San Juan Wolf sprinted towards her as she dragged herself up from the ground and balanced her body on one leg. And from this moment on, the battle would be over in the next 10 seconds. A 1-2 combo followed by a powerful uppercut smacked Smoothie around the battlefield, and yet she didn't raise her arms to guard. The damage must have been even more severe than expected. Still, this was a war, and Wolf was a terrible criminal that committed atrocities that better stay unnamed, so he didn't hold back in the slightest. Each punch almost threw the female warrior off balance, but she endured it, especially as she saw Koribu getting burned by a multitude of flames from Vasco's shot. She knew the Big Mom Pirates would change drastically in the future, and she wished to see those developments with her own eyes too. When she noticed the colossal battleship charging towards her again, she raised her hands and formed a circle by holding them together. I only have this one chance for this, so I better make this count. Wolf was hunched forward, his arms in front of his body, ready to crush the woman in his path, and he did just that. There was no resistance as he grabbed her at the side of her chest, and quickly her ribcage started to crack under the pressure, but she always kept her hands together. Got you, big boy. Here it comes. The Blackbeard pirate only reacted confused as he increased the strength of his crushing attack. Smoothie, with all of her heart, screamed out her attack, a powerful yell filled with passion for the future and incredible pain from the present, but most importantly, the love she experienced in the recent past. Motherload! For a second, there was silence. Even Koribu and Vasco's shot got called to pay attention to what was happening. Smoothie's body convulsed as San Juan Wolf's massive fingers tightened around the ribcage even more. Her lungs squeezed to the brink of collapse. Every breath was a wheezing gasp, her vision flickering between focus and creeping darkness of unconsciousness. The sheer pressure made her ears ring, her body screaming in agony as she struggled to keep her hands put together. She may have yelled out her attack already, but nothing happened yet. The Giant's laughter rumbled through the battlefield, deep and guttural, as if he was savoring the moment. Not so high and mighty now, are you? He sneered at her as his grip tightened further. A sickening crack echoed through the air. Another rib had shattered. Pain flared through the Sweet Commander's body, like wildfire, but Smoothie didn't cry out. She couldn't. Instead, her lips curled into a strained smirk. Her fingers? No, her entire two arms were trembling. In the moment before complete oblivion, she focused everything, every ounce of her strength, every last drop of juice in her body into this final attack. Her skin shimmered as a deep, furious gurgling noise built up within her, the sound of unimaginable pressure brewing inside. A red glow pulsed from her fingertips, the very air around her hands distorting as the sheer force of liquid condensed into something catastrophic. Drink this, you bastard! A single thunderous blast erupted from her hands, a beam of pure high-pressure juice compressed to an incomprehensible density. This attack didn't simply hit San Juan Wolf, it erased him. The colossal man's arrogant grin twisted into a look of sheer horror as the beam pierced his gut and turned him into a donut. But it didn't stop there. It expanded upwards, splitting through his chest, then burst out through his upper body in an apocalyptic spray of liquefied flesh and bone. His form disintegrated instantly, a red mist bursting into the sky where his torso had once been. His lifeless lower half stood for a second longer before it collapsed as well, twitching uselessly on the ground. Smoothie's vision blurred. The moment the last remnant of San Juan Wolf's upper body vanished into nothing, her strength gave out. Her limbs turned into lead, her body finally free but barely functional. With a slow, wavering breath, she collapsed on the ground. Flat on her back, staring at the sky, her chest rose and fell in slow, ragged motions. Every nerve in her body yelled out in pain. Every bone felt shattered, but she was filled with nothing but confidence in their victory. She had won, and Koribu would surely do the same. She believed in him. A shaky chuckle left her lips. The taste of victory was sweet for this commander, but for now she would just let the exhaustion take her away. Darkness claimed her vision as she slipped into unconsciousness, the battlefield still dripping from the juice remnants of her final, devastating attack. But this encounter was only halfway done, as Bloody Ocean Koribu and Heavy Drinker Vasco Shots clashed their weapons against each other again. But this is the end of today's episode of Shadow Piece for now, and I hope you enjoyed it. Smoothie has come out victorious, but not without any struggles. Those ribs cracking, that's gonna take some time to recover, and her leg basically getting just ripped out, well, there's no way to make that recover, so I wonder how her future is going to look like. But next week, we will take a look at what our sweaty man is going to do against this alcoholic bastard. Against Vasco Shots. So for now, all that's left to be said is stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay cultured. Pyro, out. Bye!